Doctor Who grudge match. The Two Doctors vs. Rise of the Cybermen. Welcome to the first of a new series in which I randomly pit random bits of Doctor Who against other random bits of Doctor Who, just for the sheer fun of it. In the red corner this week, we have The Two Doctors. This 3x 45-minute episodes parter from 1985 starring Colin Baker as the Sixth Doctor and written by the legendary Robert Holmes sees the Sixth Doctor and Peary become involved with the Second Doctor and Jamie when the latter are attacked by Sontarans while on a mission for the Time Lords. Don't ask how that works, when Jamie had never heard of the Time Lords before the War Games and the Doctor was also on the run from them before then. Because fuck alone knows. There's even a bizarre reference to Victoria having fucked off to study graphology or something, which makes even less sense. In the blue corner we have Rise of the Cybermen, the two-part David Tennant story from 2006 written by the not-so-legendary Tom McRae which sees the 10th Doctor, Rose and Mickey arrive in a parallel universe version of Earth where a balmy billionaire trying to save his own life has created an alternate version of the Cybermen. As you do. The Two Doctors is a rather controversial story with fans. Often slammed for violence and unpopular with many even despite the presence of fan favorites Patrick Troughton and Fraser Hines and the Sontarans, while Rise of the Cybermen is reasonably popular with Tennant fans. Great discerning bunch of intellectuals that crowd always are, tee-hee chuckle guffaw titter. But this is my video and my grudge match, so which is best? Well, I've always liked The Two Doctors one, and after a recent viewing still do. Oh, the plot is a bit languid and rambling, and the Sontarans are a waste of space, with unbelievably crap masks. How in God's name did we descend from the unbelievably awesome Sontaran-looking Time Warrior to this fake rubber fest? Holmes is clearly more interested in writing for the Androgams, which is fair enough really as they're rather fascinating and Shockeye is one of the best grotesques in the entire show. The Two Doctors is also quite simply just a really fun story to watch with some typically wonderful dialogue and the joy of seeing Pat and Fraser back and interacting with Colin and Nicola in such an entertaining way, as well as John Stratton chewing the scenery, and other things, as the homicidally gluttonous Shockeye. The bit where he kills the rat and immediately starts eating it is one of the grossest, but hilarious, moments in the whole series. The treatment of the Sontarans is also hilarious in the end, with the lead Sontaran getting riotously unpleasant treatment, stabbed by Jamie, attacked by acid by that bitch Chessine, having his insides pouring out of him thanks to trying to use the time machine that Colin nobbles and then being blown up in the subsequent explosion, with Shockeye then casually wandering in with his dismembered leg. Fucking hilarious. Never understood the caterwauling from fans over Colin using cyanide to off the vicious Shockeye either. These so-called fans, that is cuntwats, seem to have zero problem with Tom using cyanide gas to kill Solon in that shit-fest brain of Morbius, despite him being in another room entirely and in no immediate danger. Here Colin is being chased by a physically superior and totally homicidal enemy who has already stabbed him in the leg. But he's not supposed to use the only weapon available to dispense with the fucking lunatic? Fuck that hypocritical shit, mate. The fact that the cyanide belongs to a man that Shockeye murdered in cold blood barely 5 minutes earlier just adds extra delicious irony and schadenfreude to his demise, and they are indeed, as Colin notes, his just desserts. A brilliantly witty line referencing both his gluttony and the natural justice of his demise. There is so much wit in this, Holmes clearly enjoying himself immensely and so are the actors. The Two Doctors gets a rating of an A- from me. But what about the Rise of the Cybermen two-parter, which I also rewatched recently, or as much as I could stand before turning it off, 5 or 10 minutes into part 2, and watching Elementary instead. Dear God. It's bad, even worse than I remembered. Such an awful story, with Tennant in bland mode, Rose utterly unlikable. What the fuck is with that bit where she starts getting catty because the Doctor dared to talk to a waitress for 5 minutes? What a first-class A-grade spoiled little brat cunt she is, and Noel Clarke delivering one of the worst performances in the history of the show. His way of differentiating between Mickey and Ricky is by having Ricky glower a lot, and his way of showing Mickey growing a backbone as the story progresses is by having Mickey, also glower a lot. The cheek of this cunt comparing himself to K9 in school reunion. You ain't new who's K9, mate. You're new who's fucking Edric. That other young bloke in it, who's clearly meant to have been Ricky's boyfriend or something, is also completely fucking awful as well. Add to that another awful performance from Roger Lloyd-Pack, the awful and awfully contrived stuff with the parallel Tylers hobnobbing with the president. I mean, how fucking likely is this? Rose running into a billboard of her dad like 30 seconds after arriving is also hilariously fucking stupid, cringeworthy and completely fucking unbelievable, and the only person who emerges from this mess with any kind of dignity or deserved kudos is Don Warrington, who adds real class to all his scenes and sadly dies at the end of part 1. He would have made a good Doctor actually, though he probably has too much dignity for New Who, let's face it. This story is a shitfest from start to finish, a dreadful reintroduction for the Cybermen both in their ridiculously loud stomping design and the stupid parallel universe origin shit, and is actually physically painful to sit through at some points. The Cybermen are better than the Daleks in the original series in my opinion, but they have been well and truly fucked up the ass and no mistake by the new series and turned into a complete and total fucking joke who keep getting worse and worse every time they appear. Bitch slapped by the Daleks, defeated by James fucking Corden and the power of Lerv, and let's not even get started on Nightmare in Silver and ending up being the flying bitches to the castrated master. I mean, what a fucking joke, and this treatment starts here. Bloody awful, and Rise of the Cybermen gets a well-deserved F. The winner of this week's Doctor Who grudge match is the Two Doctors, by an absolutely colossal fucking landslide.